Welcome everyone to part 2 of the story, To Be Continued, a place where we expose darkness to light with confessions. Now that you are done going through the first phase of the change, now we need to teach you how to change at will.
You gotta change, he said, and hit me. Change! I can't! Change! I can't! Change! I said stop it!
Now I understood why he was hitting my arm. Because for the first time I changed at will.
Now it was time to run. As he showed me the ups and downs and the ins and outs of the forest and where not to run to, when all of a sudden, Ina T-bones ran me into a tree. When all of a sudden we began to fight vigorously. When the guy said, "No, don't break up the fight. Ina always starts everything." When the alpha then came and knocked Ina out so hard that she slid. When out of anger, Ina then began to change. Would she dare rise up against the alpha?
And he hit her and grabbed her up in the collar and said, "Do it if you want to die. That is my wife."
As time had went on, I became wife and made it to Black Bite. It had been a long time. My 14 years are finally up, when all of a sudden one day I was summoned back to hell. But I did not go alone, and I went in my wolf form. I was supposed to come alone, but instead I brought my entire pack, as we all walked intimidatingly as a pack.
When Armoro saw me and opened his arms and said, "My wife, you are finally back. Your 14 years are over and you are now back," when Blacklight then jumped in front of me and growled at Armoros, snatching me back. "No, she's mine now. This is my wife." When Armoros then said, speaking in the Melic tongue, meaning, you would dare reach your filth ears to touch the wife of the Gregori? When Blackbite then said, taunting him, meaning, if she is truly belonging to the Gregori and wife of one of the Gregori, then what would she be doing with us? You will not be fitting of a wife. And that's when Amoro said, "Etuak, duck," meaning mud dog. And then again he said, "Etuak na, duck," meaning dirt dog. When suddenly Blackbite then dropped down to his knees, we all knew what that meant. When immediately it then began to change. As he then began to change into his wolf self, into his wolf form. Oh no, it's about to start a whole fight and war. When all of a sudden,
Armoros expanded his wings and pulled out a sword when his hands began to glow and emulate with fire.
When Ina saw this being protected, she began to change. "Ina, no!" When, too late, she did.
And the minute she changed, then they all began to change. I said, "Guys, don't do it." As the other demon that crowned me at the age of 6 then too came. After that, another fallen angel came. Deeply breathing in and out while concentrating, while conjuring up his dark powers. I knew that those very powers that he was going to use would have killed them. That's when I saw it. And then I yelled, "No!" If you want to get to them, you'll have to first go through me. When everyone then began to line up face to face, picking their side, when Satan finally got so tired of us and yelled, "Enough!" When he then said, "Sinorio, welcome. Your 14 years of punishment is up. You are finally due to restore your crown. Come, take your rightful place on your throne again. Become queen of that Zeta once again. Those very thoughts and words coming from his mouth angered me so bad. When I then said, you know very well you delivered me to a death squad, and that according to Dark Law, my name is no longer Sinoriel, but Silverpaw, and I do not have to sit on the throne and be queen, because I don't exist. When everyone then looked back, with that same look again, they couldn't believe it. When Satan then said, very well, according to Dark Law, you are correct. So then where do you want to go? With us or them? Then I then changed halfway and said, I choose my pack. Blacklight was so happy he extended his arms for me to come towards him, and I then walked away with them. With my pack. After my 14 years were up and I was summoned back to hell, and then decided to go back with the wolves for 3 more years, that was 17 years in total that I had been with them. Eventually, I then became pack queen, and I was then crowned with the wolves as well. Everything was going perfect until all of a sudden one day, something happened. The entire time, Ina had been colluding with our morals on how to get me back. You won't kill them, will you? No. I just want my wife back. But little did she know that he had planned to kill everyone else and to save me. As the witches conjured up their spells and their chants and their dancing, in which they then called a death dance. Alright everybody, listen up. Concoct a good spell, but when we go in there, save our queen, but kill everyone else because they're our enemies. And so they did. They concocted a spell that caused us not to be able to hear them coming or change during the attack. Ugh, I feel so sick. Me too. What about my head? My head hurts. I feel like I gotta throw up. Ugh, what's that sound? My head! My head! My ears! When boom, the witches came in shooting at us. The males fought hard, and they almost got me too, when Blackbite then threw a bomb. The witches instantly died on impact, but thank goodness that wolves can regenerate. As everybody then groaned in pain while pulling themselves back together when the Alpha called a meeting. How did they even know where we are? No one knows where we are. But then Ina, who never fears anything, suddenly looked so guilty.
And then began to cry when everyone then looked at her and suddenly knew it was Ina.
What do you cry for?
When she then began to confess. I just wanted to be queen. I just wanted everything to go back to normal when you loved me. Me! I never loved you. And I never told you so either. You are a betrayal to your alpha and to your pack. From this day forward, you are now stripped of your right. And you are now nothing
To us. I felt bad for her because that alone was a death sentence. It is customary for a lone wolf that gets kicked out to howl. Howl! Next sound of a lone wolf. The minute she does, she's dead.
Okay.
When the tables then turned. When one day, Blackbite said, Silverpaw, I'm sorry. Listen to me. I have to get you out of here. You have to go. What? Go? You mean leave? This is my home now. I've been here for 17 years. Why can't we stay together? We're supposed to stay together. We're supposed to stick together. Stay together, remember? Sigh. Look at you. And then look at me. Look at us. And look at you. You are a high-ranking royal queen. You have become a deity. You are wife to a high-ranking fallen angel. You are royalty with the royal status, and we are werewolves. Yes, we are werewolves and frontline fighters during the war, but we will still never be at the high rank and the high ranking as you, because we are not demons, nor are we fallen angels, nor witches, but instead, we are just humans that sold our souls to Satan. And we have now become cursed to transform into this form and fight for them when needed. We may be at the front line, and we may be needed much, but we are the lowest rank. And I had no right to even make you to be with me. You are in danger. In our morals, your rightful husband wants you back. I have to send you back. But why? They left me. They abandoned me. They threw me away and didn't want me anymore. I lied to you. I lied to you. Sai, what I said was not true. He never threw you away. The truth is, he's been making deals for you this entire time. When you had denied being Wakanda and they heard you say it, Satan then decided to punish you by killing you. But honestly, if it wasn't for Amoros, who went before you and went ahead of you to the throne of Satan and bargained with him and made a deal for instead of killing you to allow you to live and instead be punished for 14 years as a werewolf with us, then he came and personally made a deal with me to watch after you and to never allow you to marry or to be mated to anyone among the wolves. I promise. And that day, that's what the fight was about when you were summoned. I intended on keeping that promise, but when I met you, it all changed. You are Wakanda, of a rare and generational, non-given but inherited, sacred and honorable royal position that comes every century, only every 100 years. Wife of the Grigori, wife to the 11th commander of the fallen angels, out of the 20 of the 200 that first fell. You are political regent wife to King Zhao, queen of the Ugazi region of the Marine Kingdom, with half of the backing of Leviathan and the Marine Kingdom's army and its human slaves at your comfort and disposal. Princess by Taiyu of the Blue Bites. You succeeded in the initiation with the political backing of Leviathan, the strongest that we know. You are Sinoriel, a high-ranking title with over 4,000 kills alone. You are Queen Sinoriel Wakanda, the 11th commander of the Atzadian Darkins. But that doesn't matter. Silver Paw. I mean, Sinoriel, my queen. You are a deity now. You belong with them. You have to go back. And then he kneeled down and crowned me himself. Then he whispered into my ear and said to me, "My queen, I will never forget you. Never sell your soul." As I came through the portal, red hot, full of rage, as I walked up the red stairs of hell, no one even knew. As I came in angrily, but then I heard a voice. What would your anger purpose? When Armora said, "Somebody find my wife!" Well, right on time I walked in. Sai is back. My wife is back. When Matuk then angrily looked back at me while quickly walking out, when I then thought to ask, "Did you try and shoot me?" My wife, I would never. Someone shot you? Someone did. Which we questioned later. But for now, I was now being reintroduced to the throne. Oh, hell, our Wakanda, our queen is back. All hail the Queen of EX Satanist. When one day, to appease me, our morals king got me a demon dog who we called Zyma that she kills for me. I still think that was a low blow at Black Bite. As time went by, we then had our daughter, who we then named Amaro-Sayel. By the age of what humans would call 6, she was already trained how to kill efficiently. It was known that she could never be Watnanda as a half-angel, but she could be Queen. On this day, there was a meeting in the Kingdom of Darkness. I wonder who. It was the Egyptians, who came to pay homage to their Watnanda. See, a queen of EX Zeta is just a queen, but a Watnanda is the queen of the Egyptians. When they all bowed down, all hail our queen, all hail our Watnanda, when they then began to tell me all of their problems and their issues. When I then said, silence, I no longer want to be a queen. But a Watnanda only comes every 100 years and you already united all 3 kingdoms. Silence. I will no longer be your Watnanda. When I then threw the crown on the ground as it began to roll. The servants then became fearful because they know when you offend an Egyptian god, then you have to appease it with blood, which was usually the servants. Oh, you won't? I won't. Do your worst. And we shall do our worst. We shall send you back in time to Del, Egypt, 525 BC. And you'll know when you're done. And at that time, I couldn't remember anything except for being cast out. I was now truly cast down into 525 BC, where I finally then left my cave to walk around, when then before me stood a woman who danced. She just so happened to be in the occult as well. When she then taught me the art of snake charming and the purpose of it, I then too met the snake charmers. I also then too met the belly dancers, who were also ritually occultic in their movements, which was only to mimic the snake. When I then said, no food, nowhere to sleep, I need a body. When I then met the queen, and I said she'll do, I'll jump into her body. And so I did, one good jump, and I took over her body. As I then met the pharaohs and the high officials of the court, many different kinds, different people. It was tempting, but I kept the body I was in. I began to think, what kind of happy good punishment is this, as I began to mock them. As I was then taught and learned all the ancient hieroglyphics and of all the things of Egypt that they considered to be of such great stature. I even was taught and learned of ancient spells and even the Book of the Dead, that there is one page on it that if you touch it, it can entrap your soul. I then found out that through rituals, this queen was having meetings with Anubis every night. When one day, it was like a meteor shower hit the earth right in the middle of Egypt. Everyone feared and ran when something like an angel then came out and stood up. They had wings and armor on their wings. It was fallen angels. When they then began to march throughout Egypt, everyone was fearful. Now keep in mind that after I was banished, I no longer had my memories or our morals or anything that happened before. When one angel came pushing through the others and said, I am our morals, and I'm from EX Zeta. I too am from EX Zeta, and from this day we shall be one. Now that would be tricky, because by then there was already a pharaoh that had taken interest in me, in the woman's body that I was in. The pharaoh had stolen what he called his precious jewel from the dark kingdom that did not belong to him. So we killed him and took it for what it was for, to open up portals and power up the ships. It had been 15 years that we were in Egypt, but centuries in the dark kingdom. Now, Mazarek, son of Matuk, has made it to our daughter. My father wants me to kill them and take their position. I have been told to do so as well. Let us kill your parents and take their position and reign together. Ready? Ready. Now our daughter and Mazarek, son of Matuk, had just jumped through the portal when they charged. When our morals fought our daughter, and me Mazarek as he died. And it looked bad as if we wouldn't win, so then I gambled by using the power that I knew could kill my mind. She tried to run, but as she got hit, she was in the middle of trying to change into a large cobra. As she gasped for air in pain, when she then said, "It was Satan that told me, put me up to killing you. He said if I do it, then I got your position. When I found my missions, I will have to be tortured. Don't let me go back." She died. My queen, commander, we're sorry about your daughter. Says Meshikai, one of the twins. Let us go far north, into the forbidden territory, where we're not allowed, so that we can rest. My son, call for the angel, Beheshmael. Yes, Father, Beheshmael. Go down and stop them from what they are about to do. They may not go further north, but do not harm my daughter, for I see that she will be mine. Yes, Lord. I just heard the sound. The power move that I did on my daughter earlier made me lose half of my memories. I don't even remember my time in Egypt. What the queen did was valiant. Yeah. My queen, shapeshift. Come with us. Where are we going? Far north. Into the forbidden territory. When a huge bolt of lightning came striking down, it hit everyone, but not me. When all of a sudden huge big boulders of rocks came down, hail in huge forms. When it knocked everyone down, encapsulating them in what looked to be ice, but in different directions. When I was then knocked back into a wormhole, going through light at lightning speed and flashing, when I then, as my pupils begin to dilate, I can now see through my eyes again. Was everything I saw real? I have now been knocked back into 2021 again. Now back at my correct age of 23 years old. Why didn't this God kill me? This God they speak so bad about was merciful to me. When I then snapped back into my body, hitting into it so hard, I began to wiggle my fingers, and I said, all of this that just happened to me, when I began to realize what just happened to me now has already happened centuries ago. So then where is everybody? Who is everybody? I can't